kan putham de chim ding are ri jang lai ma bang za box ko lai he kan putham chu zela da da chim ding ha ko zo ku na chim mang bang za sa ko lai kan putham Trong giờ rồi quỷ gấu hay cứ hệ nó với chim là con này lại tôi hiện nên đâm chạm mỏ thì cái gì nên đâm chạm mỏ thì cái gì thì cái cây nào khăn tôi cho mà liệu gì này thì con phụ trong qua mình lưu cho mà liệu số hệ còn thế là cũng mà cho aro pui bắc tiếc sẽ là nàng thế aro pui thì bị lo đó president là cho aro pui big go về president atua mi chunga zaro pui big bak ka ti mi sele zeiden nan ti chiu ha ke bi ha kan pu cho với có tay nào tôi chưa mà được này đi ra lo hả Campuchia mùi năm hoa hen Deep Republican Party cha chân anuame Deep Party cha chân zot nak rung roll box về cái chỗ zot nak rung roll này atlak cái chỗ karo har box ko tu hi ral boy pon ha he ton na khan nei na lai ke tu za le di party pon ha phong ning la du lo na lang ta lang tu po jong kam zo pon ha lai chang USA tis ko sang chang thela kring cho karo har bakase mang bang za box le ka an tu da kai jam hare ka house le by the speaker so darling malah darling checho war checho ko atau putar darling lang ta ko sakta ese atu zaulo ke dan jo kom putam jo dress to congress biachimnak sina ama cabinet pon ha tampi ni party le jong be ni party ja ha ngai mi ko khala chang lai jo Along si lai paku sung lo ngai phu pa sa. Lai paku sung lo ngai.
Thank you.
Ai long, tu za tha. Ai long. Tu he. Ke ana lo sia tuk chang ma. Ke nama ka na lo ko na che. Nama po ka lo na la.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States,
J.D. Vance le atua Speaker Johnson le adaling kha pakat na ka theiter na mun chom sa ko kha adaling cha do ba ke zo wa angki huk le yelo po ke smate ke ka pu chau adaling ji zo manu ang hong zong a zai mun mo lo ana ko zong zai mun mo lo
members of the United States Congress, thank you very much.
Congress member
And to my
di chunga
fellow citizens, America back.
atua America citizenship mi he kier than asi chang ko ni party chen chu ko ni party zo an bang du pak lo ka ta le ke Republican Party so ha ba bai lai pa ku dung lo yo ba bai a chi ke le ska a chi ke le ka a thu mi por ke
6 weeks ago,
zarok
I
song ka
stood
choi mi
beneath
chunga
the dome of this Capitol and
capital la kan mi
proclaimed
chunga kan
the
de
dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
atu he golden age tv lam chom pia kan ka le ti chung a chung 4 year ka ding a tu ni som li na ni som thum na som li le ni thum na kan tu hi kan ka kan han cho ma asi hai le ya kum riat ka ding lam chom pia tu hi just
I
beginning
return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before.
je saraman chunma pikan nei mi angan tak mi mun chunga atu hi
The
ke ma
American
so
dream
za
is
rian tuan na atu hi
unstoppable, and
chapoi
our
chunga thare
country
ga
is on
hong
the
ke thang
verge
se
of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
atu he der thom nak le balai chu pu der thom
The
nak le chambao nak chunga
presidential
kan um tia la kan
election
chong
November
la
5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
atu han swing state ya 312 kan vote ke hin ni hin tai na ka chau swing state ya ke di la ka la ki electoral college
We
bo
won
kan
the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
popular vote as a big county as a di la kan tai na kan chau ka si mai he dulo na la tel na ko kan si他们通常也他们通常呢你 party 你dulo na kan lang ter Republican Party ni sa PM dek mo na
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
My Johnson
Now, for the
le
first
speaker
time
India
in
chang
modern
he
history, more Americans believe that our country is
my
headed in the
Johnson
right
he
direction
amai
than
that ya
the
che chang
wrong
he bia
direction.
chim di
In
la chi do
fact,
ti han
it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
Jia sara ma hen jen tuan khobik achak bik a thong bik tu hi aban kal di se
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
dulo na lang ter chang we se
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Atu chim ngai lo mi le du lo na lao ter mi om sia chen a phung ni te ji asalai because ko di party po na du lo na kan lao ter lai ti se le ma he atu ahhin until lai zoom
Mr.
se
Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir.
ka tu an te du
Take
lo
your seat. Finding that members
JD Vest
continue
ne
to
chua
engage
te.
in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
tielo chamber in zoom chung en chel chang o because atu ke an tlai lai e zoom chung en chua chang lai cho just go sang chua di party po
Members
chua chang lai
are
ko
directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House.
zoom na kai lai
Thank you.
di ke ko sang zoom na
Over
kai
the
lai
past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400
sequence
executive
execute order kan
actions
to mi
on
chunga
record
kan atu hi
to
kam ka
restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Vietnam ni ka thimi ka se tu cha chan tu Vietnam ma safety restore safety hi pakhat na atu hi Vietnam chu government che tham ni himbom na atu hi government che bisa
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
and yom la hi
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Gestum bi chunga Mexico ram ri na ram ko na atomic kan table lo bi tuam dia kan tial because
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way.
kabia
In
antai
comparison,
andat
under
lo
Joe
kasi
Biden, the worst president in American history, there
Joe
were
Biden,
hundreds
Joe
of
Biden,
thousands of
Chebika,
illegal
Asia.
crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire
di party
nations,
chen hot link ka
or
chang
announce
ti
the
den
answers to
jadi
the greatest
jadi
economy
bes
in
ni
history,
aku dong so
or the
chang
stoppage of crime to the
atu
lowest
he
levels
Vietnam
ever
ram
recorded.
chung phoning lo alu
And
bi
these
chung
people
so lang
sitting
to mi
right
so from
here
li simple ka tam
will
bi
not
anu
clap,
ka
will not stand,
ma
and
po
certainly
ke
will not cheer
dulo na
for
la tar mi
these
si anki
astronomical
ke
achievements. They won't
pink
do it,
color
no
ke
matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Catholic Commander ke Republican Party Catholic Commander ke Democratic Party pink ko ke nyong lai
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Ya kay ma tu za nam si pu so si ke zu ding lo ai tu ke ya na lom lom America kray kan ka ti hai kan di la kan America ka si mun ke te kan chang ji kan tu ti hai ya na lom lom ti ke se na si pu lo si ka ping a to ko
Is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World
ma ke
Health
di
Organization.
party foi tu ha se atua hen Green
And
New
I
Deal ti mi
withdrew
kha
from the
ma kha ka fok
anti-American
mi ka si
UN
ti
Human Rights Council.
atu WHO in tu ka tu do da kha
We
asi
ended all of
WHO
Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
atua saving auto worker ti mi kha electric vehicle ka se lai atu engine gas or OS pan
To
ka kan fok di la ti mi
unshackle
ka save
our
mi ka si ti
economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term.
di party chang ko
And in
den
that
ko bak lo
first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
atua châu gia den tuan tu ber ti kha order ka chua zunga ban da e thut in pumpa ka den tu man du slawa chial di thon di da
And we've
atua
ended
ko di dan du
weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good.
so kam pu chang so da an tu e châu gia rian tuan tu ka siam til an han ko ka chin ka se fair ti ka ke dulo na na ta
Stopped
ka
all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
ato free speech ka di party den ka mi ma po ka atharing ka sa than ka che than di ka se
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
alwan chimin no ani ni ka English marang cha ka official language ka chemi ka se Colombia umala
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
min thar ka pek mi cho call of Mexico ka call of America ka pek ko se
And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. I love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
DI ที่ค่ะมาค่ะคำสิ
And
อ่ะมีสาวกี่สาวมัน
country will be woke no longer.
ดีชิมพอพอโจสาวองค์กร
We
แล้ว
believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
ตัวไทยด้านหน้าเราเห็นนู่นละป่าไทยด้านหน้าเราเห็นด็อกเตอร์ซีบอยส่งมาตัว police ส่งเซเว่นส่งเยี่ยมพวกไทยด้านหน้าเราเห็นเซพวกค่ะมาแล้วเทียมนี่จะเป็นแบบ
And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
像人ที่น้องมีเที่ยวเอ็นอันตัวมีจุงเกี่ยมันจะออเดอร์ก็ชอบมีจุนู่นละป้าที่หลงก็สลายนู่นละป้าออกที่มีเขาเมื่อไรเลยมาค่ะสิ
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. นู่เล่นเที่ยวเช่นนักป้าเอเที่ยวเขาเราค่ะเกี่ยมันนี่คำนี้จุดสิเดียว 3 years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding. ที่มีจุดป้าค่ะบาสวอลเลย์บอลแบงค์นะคะอันนี้เก๋ป้าสิติกาค่ะเก๋ตุกมีฝักตุกเองอันนู้เลยเอามีค่ะเข็นให้มาปูค่ะตุหีเรื่องที่ไรมาปูค่ะลุที่เราเรียนคัมปัสมีนูเข็นให้มาค่ะป้าจนท่าทางปิ่นตุกนูวอลเลย์บอลและป้าวอลเลย์บอลตุกมีจ้าดังตุกมาลองค่ะมาเข็นมีนูค่ะเสีย If you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. Nancy Pelosi จ้าเงินที่เราเห็น What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
tu thil mana kai mi ma chi inflation to na ma kha atu hi kan nam chu ma leu si ki kha achin ji so
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
You can either have a power line to a thar and to a tanlai. You can pay a guest in
seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency.
As
you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. Gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Japan, South America,
to further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
Taxpayer dollar
and to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Elon Musk, those are
which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Gallery. Elon Musk.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
45 million in Burma
LGBTQI+. In the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
60 million 就
This is
Mula pa
real.
ken no naka bomb kasi.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
50 million hotel room in New York
Real
City and
estate
Hamika.
developer, he's done very well.
Ah.
$250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning.
Kaputam kizaw mano acha ka baklo zo hitluk ka chimibel kizaw acha pa ka baklo zo.
$101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, the most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
$100 billion over katwa hen regular life. Elon ni account 초장 이랬어. They took that TMO.
And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taken back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
109
3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129.
3.7 billion
3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
Healthier, Bobby. 마비 맛도 전인 코드가 전 아직 안는 그 사바키에 때 디카시 마비 저 또아 로버트 F 케네디 주니어 가시
including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age.
360
more than 100 years older than our country. But we're going to find out where that money's going.
두 사람 뭐 퍼먹고 나요?
By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
마비할 때에 아메리칸 패밀리 자 리엔간 돈라이. 감무미할 때 리레 호로엔 안톤미할 때 마히 파인 업 간자우하라. 감무촌하라이 깜피디알로.
And today interest rates took a beautiful drop, big beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
Atu federal budget atu zeng tu la interest rate atu here atla tu interest rate ta here 6.0 thong se 6.4 不是那个achim lo ni kcho interest rate kan check qua lai.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country.
Call
They
visa
won't
cut
have to pay
60.
tax from where they
5
came.
million in kan
The
zola
money that
e
they've made, you wouldn't want to do
ma
that, but
ka
they have to
kring
pay
kat na
tax
kasang
to
dio
these
business
jobs.
student sina ka
They'll
sila.
also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
Katavole kama thumi ma sok folk rop mili chimans e honing lawin how phong e kao e alu tarmin ha Joe Biden kutang ma sok city
Have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
Yen tuan zom lo en au mi pon ha mi lang lo ni tuan pon ka ma ka kam pon ha lai chu kon wa je sa mi big net care te en yen tuan mi
Any
la
federal
democracy
bureaucrat
tak
who
en kram
resists
akan kan
this
chopi
change
lai
will be removed from office immediately.
aran na gen
Because
chau
we
za
are
zung le tu
draining
na
the
kan choi ha lai
swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
bi party chu tu jan cho an le lo bak okay amai che ko lo hon che ko chang
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there, they're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you
Republican
that.
Party ka tinhalo ka chawole ka mathun pol
But
na
I know
he
this group is
Social
gonna be
Security
voting for
cut
the
and
tax.
do se chen ma ka vote pe hu tik se
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
tar cha Social Security akan tan tialo no tip tax on tip turn overtime akan tialo.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Atu he GS ram e answer mi moto po ka ma ka achibusin taxi driver
And
pon
by the way,
ha
we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the
Indiana
world.
ka Honda ka India lai company karmi Indiana company Honda ka karmi India lai ka.
And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens.
South Korea,
This is
India,
happening by
Daluk
friend and foe.
GS rama til
The system
sermi
is
long
not
kha
fair to the United
tax
States
cut
and
lom
never
ti
was
kalak lai
until
tariff
on
kalak
April
lai
2nd.
lo adang lak mi popo
I
ram
wanted to
popo
make it
kha
April
tariff
1st.
kalak vi lai
But I
GS
didn't
rama ko po kha
Want to be accused of April Fool's Day? That's not, just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that too. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars, create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We've been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
Much
has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer.
Mexico le Canada la men sitelo puntam pian lupi ma ikamna de chapaisa kan piak na zaiman to mi lo jo am hutia lo
$1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of Thawngpang, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Chip Vietnam made the 70%. Atua Chimipoka, Vietnam investment to me 1.5 trillion.
And we're not giving them any money.
Investment
horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the chip act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt.
Answer me till they can look to US stars like Cartel amazing physical. They took the Trump and Zoom, they took the Trump can dear come.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer.
Farmer American
We'll
farmer
now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period, We
April
had that
2nd,
before when I made the
takan
deal with
hotline.
China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers, but our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. All going to happen.
Farmer iti me tu lo thorian chuan a khan ramdang arami pol ha chan thol thom tok Zesram e
And
kan
I've
chopi
also
chu
imposed
athami
a
athiang ti bilong te
25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard. Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provided a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Alabama 20%. Farmer steel like steel.
Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Jeff na chunga lomnak kan piton nei ki ka achim ki ko nuwa First Lady adaling ka bun for ka ko ka am chami cho adaling jado ba bak bi ho This President nupi la ka cha do big saka
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With his help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much.
Atu siang lai chim kun ha le ama 20 ha adaling 20 ko na kama po ka ma bi
And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
มีเลียนประคนแล้วประคัดพงนิ่งเหลวันหลุดจุดช่วงอาจารย์มิสวลตามปีเกมเมมเบอร์ปุ่นหลังปีจีนงเองอันนั้นมาทับปวดจูอัตุเฮเกียร์อาที่ภาษีอัตุเฮกันชนทางไหน
And I want to thank Tom Homan.
Tom Homan ก็จง
I
กาล
want
ม
to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I
Border
want to
Patrol
thank
ลู
you.
กหลาย
What
ปี
a
กับทีม
job
นี้เสีย
they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE.
Border Patrol เนี่ยเจนนั้นตัวมี
Law
จงอาคัน
enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement.
นั่นเราแค่นี้หลายนั้นตัวมีเรียนกันนั่นมีดีไล take care for all of
Last year,
มาเฮ Border Patrol เองลูกหลายปีกับทีม
a
นี้คนละ
brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley,
เรกินแรล
the
ลี่ขา
best
อั
in
น
her
ท่าหลักของเขาเชียม
class, admired by everybody,
Nursing
went out for a
student.
jog on the campus of the University of Georgia.
University
That
จอร์เจีย
morning,
ใกล้ไม่เสีย
Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered.
เรกินแรลลี่ขาอันแต่อีพวกนี้เราปานนี้อสวรปีสวรปีคนหัวท่าเบะ
Gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening, Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
มาเกอันนู้นแหละอาฟาร์มิเกมาหาอีกการตักมีหาที่ทั้งเสียอันมาอีอาฟาร์มิแหละอาฟาร์มิที่ค่ะพงดิ้งเราปานนี้อัตไลอีอสวรปีคนหัวท่าเบะเรกินแรลลี่ที่มีที่ค่ะมาของข้าคำพูดคำนี้อาชีพเสีย
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act.
มาเราอาจจะตัวsafety power strong อันนี้กิลเวนนักคิมระบมเตะก็ช่วยทีข้าศึกเล็กยังไงนี่ครับพิโลนักดิจ่าจังหวัดเทพกระตัว
It's called the Laken Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
มาค่ะอามาเล็กยังแรลลี่พิโลนักดิจ่าอาจงซาเลนเทลกันตัวลุงพุนกันตัวก็เท่าไรจูไงฮอลจุลลุงพุนพิโลนักมาค่ะเทลพวกกันตัวเปียก
Thank you very much.
ในช่วงการล้ม
Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
พวกนี้เราอลุดมีช่วงอาเกี่ยวกับออฟฟิศลักษณ์อัตโนมัติอัตุบันตุกันตัวมีอาเทียลอุโมงค์ยี่ปาร์ตี้โจใจติกมันคุดเดินไปยังบลล์อันนู้นเราวันนี้ก็ฟิ
The
ลิปปินส์มาที่เรา
media
เนี่ย
and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
ยี่ปาร์ตี้นี่แค่พงคำปีแรกแล้วก็มิสโซปอลุโคนาดินกับจากอันตัวอันดูอาศัยnew president ที่มาจังหวัดจันทร์มันก็อันตัวก็เป็นที่สุด
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America.
Jerusalem luat na timi kha ma kha keima chunga chin omlai chicha chin atu Jerusalem
But there's
thong le
still-
khoti fati puhan fodi
is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered.
makai kam
Arrested and
putam ni
charged
chimi
with
cho
this heinous crime are
phongning
two
lo
illegal
in
alien
atu
monsters
Springfield
from
le Colorado
Venezuela,
le adang dang pola
released
an
into
ong
America
chua
by the
chen
last
khwa
administration
phan
through
fo
their
di man ha pul kha kan
ridiculous
lak na lai
open
kan ko
border.
thadin ha lai ti kha
The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
oh makamin tharam pek ni akan ni ke an tha mi a kan ma ka order tu chon ni se security order chon ni ka ama philo na ni cha kan atu phungni lo ni tam pin than ha chu je saram e nu pol mo tam ta kan than ha chen churong a kan chap ni philo na ding cha ka thil pa ka atu pek lamang ha
Thank you very much. All three savages charged with John and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
ma hizan na ya tam putam ni miso kemen mo puna ka kai e ko pi ha ken zue sa me kemen ma tin ko he bolai chunga kemen ba asol dik ti kase ma da po ka an tai ni ha kase
They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz, great guy.
Roberto Ortiz atimi pa kase ice pol ne tu he phoni lo ka cho bai din ne alu tan ha po kha an tai na lai an ko khalai chi chunga charian akhin ko ha kan se ice ti me he atu tan a chen de tak me phoni lo alu du ko so na ton ko tlai tu kan se ma tha po le rian akhin ko ha po kha
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande, near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much.
member po hen sual to win mo man sual to win ta chunga US ram e border patrol po kan ka ton ha ma e na ka na e akirin na ko ka si US ram e phung ni wa lu ti ga mai thal tam pe ni ke bi sual ta kan swi chu.
And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
Atua cartel ti mi sual pu ka atu he di la ken hin ma e border patrol ke an lak cha ma ka ama kan ha ko cha hai anda che che ma ka dai bak thot ko ti
Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever.
atu hen cartel e 29
But we
member
need
e
Mexico and
an sual tak lo
Canada
ka pokul
to do
pokwa
much
an
more
teng
than
na
they've
se
done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker.
ka di party jen dai ko chang la ba
Mr. Leader, thank you very much.
mai chon se le JD West ni pakhat an chua le di party jo dulo na kan lak tara ti mi jo an di ko chang la ba ha Republican party jo ma khan chok ko cha chua Republican party ko bang le di party jo bang ko ti la
We
cho
must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns.
see in the town where the law and order kan chua lai a ha ben chol ko lai lo kan tlai na lai kan ko chan ni lai ti
In
ko
recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bond. Good luck.
a tu a zhou za ka chen che la mang kai ma chong ka dau
Cash,
tu a chen
thank you.
Cash Patel ti mi ki FBI director
Thank you,
si
Cash.
mai Cash Patel good luck ti Pam Bondi ma chu a tu ta na AG Anthony
They've
General
already
Kim na ka
started
se
very strong. They're going to do a
a
fantastic
thong
job.
ta
You're
tak
going to
mi
be
si
very
hin
proud of
nan
them.
thei tha lo ma
We're also
Chắc-
once
chắc
again
mi
giving
thuận tin
our
lại
police
thì sẽ-
officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such
Plik
a
le nam
hard,
hu da
dangerous
plik ni
job.
akan
We're
kil
gonna
bem
make
si
it less
teli plik kan
dangerous.
upat tha
The
lai
problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they
a
soon
mi
will
chen chen
respect it.
mi
This
lo
also
pu pai kan
includes
upat
our
lo
great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
Di party chen ko den bang ko ti lo so ka pu tham me chwa le kam tu ko ke
One year
Republican
ago
party
this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller,
Jonathan Diller
unbelievably
to sop tu ko khat
wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with
Maki
his
afan
murder
usi
had 21
tilak
prior
en soptu na
arrests,
kumkat
and they were rough
Border
arrests.
Patrol tilang
He
kami
was a
pa
real
afanu.
bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Afan ko tumi ko sorry siya ano pi siya. Tapi ni fa pa kate na ma ka. Border Patrol to na ka maka angka ay team kasi. At team na karo ko ka kai ito team. Di party jo ang tabako sa man. Di party jo. Sita party ki di ko
Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, so we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
GS ram a selchalo atua e balik la sizwar e pon ha e kuchunga athak mi thel tu mi tu thi dan ka pya kha. That penalty
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Oh, mati ke police officer in ke arami kasi. Apa ka
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Brain cancer da atuak cancer zot nang ronga atin kasi. Maka atua hen ke atuak anhai mi kasi.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Secret Service atua rian na kasi. Atua kan Secret Service atu ke agent rian thar kam putam ni apiak ni kasi. DJ zo lo kumtam ting lawas mo.
Thank you, DJ.
Makale apa kan mo.
DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Arian ka Kimito, hakche kumting lau kensaran tamtok, din chambao naka, sila ay mi din solronga, maa ka arian ka piak ni si. Jesaram chu healthy in kan ka kodang ding cha, ama hi rian thar ka piak ni si ti.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. Happily, they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36, think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
Atuang hak siya kumting lawin. 1 in 10,000. Maka mitam pika an tinlung tuol le an tuak andam lo na. Pumsang andam lo na chopi an aidin rong asi.
My administration is
Ma
also
kasi
working
zay rong
to
ada
protect
si
our
tika do
children
nang
from
to zay si dan
toxic
chomi.
ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronoun. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Maka kumting law mi am fati ka siang kai na ka an tuak an ton hai. Afanu ko papa an ken papa ka fanu an ken ma minu ka afa maro ka cham ni to security order min thot mi le alang tel ko so tu cha chen siang ni kumting law ko na ke an du po atwan ka le an thok an ton ha sang le ya pa an loi ko
permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
Ma ka wrong body di mi atu chimi ka atu ahhin nu ka siang ka I zan le loi ti ka pa a chwa pa si ka nu a chwa ma ka nga lo
God made you.
ka God made you ti ka se pa tian ni answer ni te ka asi ok asi nang ma ni na ken ok nga lo ma ka chap ni chim le ma ni se pa tian kun sung lem kan si God
Because
made
we're
you.
getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much
Raka
better
bisa
for
se
it,
society
don't we? Don't we feel
karup
better?
chung ka malai mi chung a community kan tilai chung mun tok chung zong a ken atu ahhen rian tuan tu a chen phoning lo tu mi news mi pa tu mi nu ma pol ka kan chau thang ti halo
For our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations.
Secretary of Defense atu hi Pete has set kasi các phụ trong cái dâu cha bắc khâm đến cao bắc lâu chú dâu khâu trong môi trường cái dâu cha cao bắc lâu mà việc thì chim cái dâu
that in January the U.S. Army had its single best recruitment in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference!
Tôi ra cả phần ha, upat nang lại trong lom na, asin như thế. Dan tuan biết chúng ông belum biết chắc biết cái thòng biết.
It was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job.
Peter has said to our country, Vietnam is great again. A topic not can certain
We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
Makakatuwa US Academy apek mo siya. US Rakap the Academy kan putam ni GPA 4.6 yang ngai pa ha.
And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into, but I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Application ka accepted ka tu pek chang ka chau lang sang se.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Atu Iron Dome ka US Salam ka salai. US Salam kilbin nang ting cha.
Wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there. Not even.
Rather, reckon
they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it, and the United States should have it too, right, Tim? Right?
United States can Navy, like.
But it's a very
Iron Dome system ka Israel pakat long ni.
We should have it. We want to be.
David Sling team ila Iron Dome choose yes long ni na tu aram ni nang na as US salai.
To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
Atura ka bia umna kunna thiel tu na building thar ka mapu na le
program thar ka I'm announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing
Panama Canal to kamani kan lap chan lai. It's a Panama Canal to Vesta.
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals.
Marco Rubio.
The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal.
Nun na apiak mi Panama Canal si.
And mosquitoes, not a nice place.
Mai zot na nga zelawa rifle zot na le mosquito e fikfa si na ronga timi se.
They would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in
Aman
our
faktu tak
country's
mi kan tua
history,
mi
if you bring it to
Panama Canal
modern
se.
day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama.
Panama ni tua China apiak. Atu tu US ni kan lak chana. Tu hi Panama Canal e ram nang e bonji.
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco.
Marco Rubio.
Now,
Makatabi si.
we know who to
Boy kat
blame
na
if
nga
anything
makan.
goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job.
Eh,
Think of
ami
it, he
karo
got
har se
100
tu mi
votes.
siamba.
You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes.
Marco Rubio vote
And
tak le
I'm
99 ni
very
vote
happy
tak.
about that, or I'm
100
very concerned about it.
Sanay 100 ni akan an timi
But
99
he's
mak ni an
already
tak mi
proven. I mean,
pasi.
he's a great gentleman. He's respected
He
by
got great
everybody. We
general
appreciate you
Bucks
voting
City.
for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Na tu mi rian cha to ke upat ok ta.
He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland.
Greenland bi cha
We
ka du ta.
strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security.
International world security cha a atua pan kam pan lai. Chu cha so world comes that is in world
We
cup
will
ka
keep
ti.
you safe. We will make you
Him
rich and
him te ka chen
together.
ha lai.
We will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before.
Asiko bi chung en tu hi hai en lai en tu kan kil ben lai
Large
kan
piece
zau
of
ken
land,
lai.
and very, very important for
I had took me
military security.
Ra
America
kap
is
cha
once again
tu hi
standing
kam
strong
han
against
ni.
the forces of radical Islamic terrorism.
Islamic
3.5
terrorists por
years
ha
ago,
cha la adam
ISIS
cha
terrorists
ti no
killed
mi kil
13
ben na ta
American
ki cha
service
sa lai.
members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew.
Atu Afghanistan kan
Perhaps the
zu
most interesting moment in the
kan
history
mu
of
do
our
mi
country.
ko as sa.
Tonight,
Jen
I'm
atu
pleased
ya
to
arab tok
announce
tim ya
that
kan.
we have just apprehended
Nan
the
za pi chung a
top
kan mi se.
terrorist responsible for that atrocity.
Greenland
And he
pol
is
hai
right
u
now
ko ka
on
nan
his
za
way
pi
here to face the
nan long
swift
it can e
sword of
United States a i fon an du
American
chen world come si. Tu za chen Greenland e o mi pon sa chu chu so a chen US ni hin ha kan lak lai US ni tuan bo kan lak chang lai ki ka chen. Ni party chen. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Control tang he. Control tang he
And I
zau
want
he.
to thank
Chai chai na.
especially the government of
An ta fi
Pakistan
ba ka
for
chai chai
helping
na lai
arrest
tu.
this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day.
Afghanistan
Such
ya nu do mi
incompetence
chunga
was
manung
shown.
play tu man ti adang hiam tu tuan mi
That
kong
when
kha asim
Putin
mi se.
saw what happened, I guess
Putin
he
em
said,
hu i zai da chang
maybe
tia
this
thai.
is my chance. That's how bad it was.
This is my chain ke
Should
ma
have
ka chan
never
thabi ka si
happened.
tia
Grossly
ti.
incompetent
Ukraine he atok mi tu
people.
si.
I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call every one of them called, and
Andi la kaya
everybody
Afghanistan
was
timin
on the
hap
line,
ka
and
wa anu
they
lem
did
pa
nothing but
chonin ha
cry with happiness. They were very happy, as
Ana lom
happy as
tok
you can
chen
be under
tiat
those
che.
circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle
Arong
East,
um lo
we're
wan
bringing
than ha.
back our hostages from Gaza. In my first
Chok
term,
jahaz
we
se
achieved
Gaza
one
an
of the
tuarin
most
ha.
groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords.
Abraham Accord atu a peace na akan tu hikan kai pi. Le Israel has chen tu ni ha chung ata tu hi kan kai pi ka si.
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Atu a Ukraine Russia ko ai ituk do na am kap ti kala ka dei na rem dang lo na ka thok an kap thoma chu chunga chen 100 billion ka US ni kam bom ha.
You want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that.
2,000
Russian young people,
atu
the
a
Ukrainian
antan
young people. They're not
every
Americans.
week ma
But I
kasi
wanted to
mentam tu
stop.
takan ti.
Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us. And they don't. But we're getting along very well with them. And lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe
Europe
that
billion
they wouldn't have stopped
billion
it and said, at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Ukraine tu nai te khan chang ko de timi chu Ukraine tu ken dei nak le rem nak ser adu mi gan lo US ni hit lo kan kan diar kam har na kan tor mi chunga tha jang kan pek cha Donald Trump nang ma putang a hang tui dei nak le rem nak ser ding in chboi chunga manrat I sa agreement sai ka tu kan du chang pya ang ka kwat ti ka se.
It's time to end the senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
campaign ko tu le bakam na ko to me anu kum ko la kum sri asiminu ni ka fa pa he amui ka bu thang ka du tia ati thong tak ya an tlai mi pa kha Russia e om kha ma ka campaign ka tu le bakam na ka nai mi chu na mu than lai ka ti tu tom pa la chu tu he ne ku le na sri president ka ma si na kan Russia ni an tlai mi thong kum he li thak ding pa chu atu ka choi tu za nei ma ka heคนanu he anu hu chan ko hi se chu campaign ko le promise kara pe mi ka se
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. You heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally.
July 13th for rally in Pennsylvania.
And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
State chung kai lan a tar nu ni khen a ka chim mi kha a fa pa mu than na ko da din cha se phia ka phil lo ka ti chu tom pa la chen state chung kai e mai thal in an ka mai thal o chu karu har in a thang e kana kho a kan le ma pakhat ku kha din ara e chu ko nu a khore ke thajang ka pi tu kha atua a khen e fa ku tak khen cha a thi anin nak a pek chu ko nu a manung pati chul thiam an tuare chu si boi te ni an zau khen ni khana ka si chu tu za na he ma ka he anu pila fa la ka an la ti
cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on.
Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his
destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Maka akan may talent ka Corey Booker ka anin na apek. Ama man tuk manung ka mitampi anim lai ti ka zum now. Chuchunga chun kay ma ka kanin na akazo tu mi ka pathen ase. God save for me my life. ประเทศนี้ก็หนักก็ว่าจะช่วยอารมณ์บิจูUS รำกิลเวนหนักเลย US รำเองขับหนักนี่จ้าสิดีสิ
From the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. Workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Trump ni timi chu US ram hi dot dang lem nang en US ram kan sel halai lam le Soviet kan lem ding halai sel tha an atu hi US ram hi achak ni atomi ram kan sel halai chu US ram hi amu timbik ni chu asi kan di la kan
we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day we will stand up and we will fight for the country our citizens believe in, and for the country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Nan hu pal lo mi golden age atu hi began ta tham kan thok ta ti dang se. Ku cha kum pi chung pathian ni kan bom lai kan um pi lai lam kan phoi lai kan kal ha lai si. Ka 那是不是就说安南做上去，你把这就说安南个上，啊，Republican Party 就安这边你把这就看错的个上，老早帮是就，哎，咱不参在做กัน的比较辛苦，安安ดำเรา早搞了บักเต็น的个比较辛苦就。现在第八届 President Joe Biden 是老 K， 这老来啊，这来大家做来嘛开始搞，啊不参就去啊中来嘛看，国来拿啊做上来，第八届就看出拿阿龙个上去。然后 Republican Party 就刚不参国来靠卡安的南就，嘛看。Atu Iraq lutai polka akut tatai na sele di party chu chua zok long khan dam zai zai rong ti chen an sol na phun ni chang ha chmu lo ta ba kas ko chang ha tu za ni arang ai tu la rak zo tu nan di la chunga lom da ta pi ka nei a lai pa ku jung atu live ko tha mi a hol le kha aka har deuจะลองสโลอาเบียดินตันเรามีฮอลเลตค่ะอาหารไงไม่ใช่จุดจ้าจนก็เจแล้วก็เทคโคเดียวนักเตะแล้วอาตัวฟินนักเตะฮอลกะเล่มีก็ใช่อามาชิมิกาอัฐาดิเขาเจร้องจนฮอลเลตที่มีดินตันมากะเล่ดินตันเล่ที่ก็จนก็อันนั้นหมายถึงสก็นั้นอาเบียชิมิละกันที่โคตกเตะข้าสก็กันที่โคตกเตะร่างไงตุนดีละสุงะล้อมนักชิมจกโลกันไหนมั้งมาคำหายเลยจงอ่ะเขาเป็นตกติค่ะตัวโคกันส่วนลงเท่าไหร่
I'm not going to get it. Sorry.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you everybody ก็ชอบกันเรากูจังยี่ชอบกันเรากูจังนี่ปาที่จูนั่นสิแค่ใจดาอาพุทปะนั่นสิแค่รู้ดานี่ทองอาพุทตากตีรสโลเนี่ยรสโลอาดังพลีทองนะพุทธเรามาค่ะเสร็จแล้วมิมหายเป็ดนะเขาเสร็จเขาไปริ้วแล้ว